Thank you. What a great day to be here. One of the best panelists you would ever imagined. We are at a historical flux, right? We spoke about major headwinds coming in from geopolitical situations, macroeconomic conditions. We got great tailwinds coming in from the mode that we already created with respect to tech, digital, and industry evolving so far, right? But the question remains with respect to what great things have we actually created here, right? The second one, which is very pertinent, is why have you been very successful as an industry based in India? The third one, which is even more critical, is as a collective industry, what should be our aspirations to conquer the next big wave? The fourth one, what are the big risks that we actually have with respect to how do we stay protected, the beautiful mode that we have created for all of us? So when we were all discussing as a set of panel yesterday, we had a typical problem. So obviously I had to go to Samir. I told Samir we have three problems. One, I don't like the way you're calling this classic. Your topics, the way you run it, are more catchy than calling this classic. The second one is right before lunch. It's not a great time to start. So we would like to change in timing. The third one is the duration is not long enough. And typical of Samir, he says, Kamesh, next year I want to replace all moderators as humanoid bots. Right? So I had to sheepishly come back. But the only way we can solve this is for all of you to put your hands together and clap so hard that Samir comes in and says, what is going on here? Please. Right? To answer this question, we have a great panel.
You need to say AI does not complain.
Not yet for some more time. But jumping right in, right? We got Rathnaprabha, who brings in the GCC leadership and thought process on what is changing from India and what will possibly change in the near future from India. We got Shivani coming in from building AI for India, one of the largest conglomerates that you can see in India. We got tech leadership coming in from David, talking about how startups are actually reimagined unsolved problems and how are they solving it for us. And we got Dr. Nishant talking about how is provider firms supporting in this ecosystem, right? Stay tuned, we'll go into Ratna for the first question. Ratna, we speak about great things being built here, right? What have we built from India, for India, in India, and for the rest of the world? What are your viewpoints on this?
So I think, thank you for the question, Kamesh. Good afternoon, everyone. So what have we built from India? So I am going to speak from a GCC lens, on behalf of all the GCCs that are present here. I think we are really a combination of intelligence, innovation, and scale. So to me, when this is a very deadly combination that we have in India. And what that really means for us in terms of build is our key capability that we bring because of the talent, the AI talent that we have. Due to the AI talent that we have and the natural cost arbitrage that we have, combine it with differentiation, combine it with innovation and revenue potential, we are really building hundreds and thousands of real use cases that drive AI adoption. To me, I think that is a key component of pilot and scale. And to me, that AI adoption that we're able to drive from India is leading to the huge, I would say, the value creation that we in the GCCs are able to bring. And that also automatically brings the moat of the diversity and the digital capability and infrastructure that we have in India that is bringing the emerging AI capability that I would like to probably talk about, where I think building the global capability is one, but in terms of emerging markets, if we leave the developed and the developing countries aside, from the emerging AI markets, I think India is well placed because it's a live bed. It's a live bed, or test bed, I would say, where we are able to integrate the complications that India brings with its diverse multilingual capability, with its connectivity, with its vernacular complications. So being a live bed, I think we are able to bring the AI models, or the applied AI models, I would say. We are not really focused on the foundational models, we are focused on applied AI models, which we are bringing to the emerging economies and emerging markets, which I think is a very distinctive capability that India is able to really contribute.
Thank you so much, Rathnaprabha. Now, the same question to you, Shivani, right? What brilliant ideas are we bringing in?
It's a wonderful question, and I'll probably answer in a different way. First of all, thank you for having me here. Sorry, we are in between your lunch, but I hope we will give you some more food for thought than actual food. So I manage a couple of greenfield projects or verticals where AI was never thought that AI can go there, but it is, we are applying it here. So one big problem what India has, the agriculture, right? We don't have that productivity what other countries have as compared to either we look for West or China, either of the places. So the problem statement which we are trying to solve, how can we 10x the farmer's income with using all the technological aspect of it? That one problem statement, one line problem statement is probably converted to nearly 500 to 600 models, which we are developing to reach that stage, because there is no data available on the ground. There is no single authority which can govern those, you can say, regulations or deployment on the ground. So we are working with a lot of different, you can say, service providers, government, academician, etc., in order to do that. So these are the real India-centric problem which we are trying to solve, even it is agriculture or healthcare. We think that India is pretty good with healthcare because we have a lot of medical tourism, but that is only limited to tier 1, tier 2 cities. But the time you go to villages and probably fourth tier cities, there are no primary healthcare. So can AI help us to develop solutions which will help that particular layer of cities to have some kind of a healthcare available with the help of probably some governing bodies, but where primary healthcare may not be possible. So those are the sectors which are growing pretty big. And on a very different note, I also manage the AI for IPL. So Mumbai Indian has multiple 7 or 8 teams in the world. So those areas are the emerging now, where earlier AI was like in banking, retail, or a couple of more sectors, but because of the democratization of the AI, it is seeping into all the verticals which we never thought can use the technology or AI. So now when Bumrah balls, is it going to be a Yorker or is it going to be a off-cutter? It has been given a suggestion by the AI altogether.
Fantastic, very interesting, Shivani. To you, Dr. Nishant.
Fantastic, and thank you so much. Pleasure to be here. Very quickly, what I'll say is that famously, Satya Nadella once said that Google has made more money on Microsoft's product than Microsoft has made money using those products. So what I'm trying to say is that there is a product provider and then enabler, and then there are users. Another example from Google's perspective is Google Maps has enabled a lot of companies make a lot of money, and Google Maps itself would not have made that much money. And there are companies who are enabled because of Google Maps, right? So what I'm trying to say is we are sitting on an enabler technology. What we can see is, not only about, what has been done today, but we need to see what kind of transformative enablement that can be made over a period of time. I think that part, and I'm sorry I flipped your question a little bit. Instead of what has been done so far, I am more looking at what can be done in terms of transformative technology. So what have been done so far is minuscule in comparison with what are the opportunities that exist. And my sense is the opportunities exist building on this transformative platform.
David.
I'll give 2 kinds of examples. One, AI for India, and second, AI from India. 2 examples in AI for India, right? Swiggy delivers food, but the cost at which Swiggy or Blinkit or any of these people delivering food and groceries is so ridiculously low that the innovation that is required to actually make even these simple things happen is so high. Second example, India is a very unique market for Uber. For commute, you need super cheap prices. At the same time, you need very high reliability. You don't want to be late for your meeting. So when Uber is building the Uber shuttle product, which is Uber buses built and run by Uber, you have to take care of how do we make it cheap, and at the same time, how do we make it reliable as well? These are incredible challenges that India as a market creates. And these are companies which have delivered on these products, and these are products that are running very well, or all of us might be interacting with them. These are examples of where AI has been used for India. In addition to that, right, there are people in global companies who are both Indians and global companies based out of India who are building products for the entire world. For example, the Uber shuttle I talked about is going all over the world. We are launched in Egypt. Amazon employees actually use Uber shuttles in the US as well. That's an example. The Uber Intercity product has been built in India and it's running all over the world. The Uber Moto or the motorcycle product has been built in India, running all over the world. It's a big deal in companies like Brazil, for example. The Uber Reserve product, the entire driver experience is built in India, running all over the world. So if you look at it, there's a lot of innovation happening in AI for India, in AI from India as well.
Brilliant. David, the Uber I took today was very reliable, by the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Ratna, to you. There are over 100 countries trying to figure out how do they set up GCCs and tech capitals, right? And we have been shining for quite a number of years. What do you think is the moat that we have created? What are our advantages? And why do you think we have been successful this long?
I think the moat for us, and that's our success story is primarily our ability to combine the ecosystem that we are in, which is startups, GCCs, academia, the applied AI capabilities that we've built, and the focus that we have really on driving adoption. I think a combination of all of these things and the drive to be a differentiator, I think is one of the key aspects of the success that we have. So to me, the AI talent penetration that we have in India is really unique, and the GCCs are absolutely taking advantage of this AI talent penetration. So that is helping us drive adoption at a large scale. So what that really means for GCCs like ours is, I'll give you an example. We have this 3 times US patented product, a platform called as DevGen AI. So what that really means is we have over 500 use cases that we have collected from across the firm. Examples would be, let's say I have too many documents and I would like, for operations, and we need to extract flowcharts out of that to make operations life easier. Or in terms of modernization, where we have tons of mainframe code, COBOL code that needs to be converted to Python. So how do you do it? Use generative AI to do it automatically. Or really drive automation of large workflows. So all of these, I think, since the core functions sit in India, controller functions sit in India in finance as an example, how we've really taken use cases from grounds up functions that operate out of India and use generative AI to really drive the automation itself, the AI for UI or AI for automation in terms of Copilots have been adopted at scale in India, which is really driving these automations in a way that is beyond productivity alone. It is driving the usage of AI in uncharted territory for us. So these 500 use cases that I'm talking about in DevGen AI, as we call it, is really giving us the advantage of using AI in uncharted territory of SDLC optimization, tech modernization, and these are the core territories for tech and operations in GCCs like ours. And what that really signifies to the leadership who is strategizing AI for firm-wide AI is really trying to mark the various GCCs, and we have several offshore centers in Morgan Stanley. And if for those offshore centers, and it's primarily for India, we're really using AI to develop solutions for GCC-specific use cases, which is unheard of. So which we already belong to certain BU functions. We operate as one Morgan Stanley, let's say, all the BU presence is here. But when we have to discover these unique ability to apply AI, I think GCs are playing a forefront role.
Awesome, thank you. So Ratna, you're saying our ability to apply tech, our ability to modernize at scale is the biggest moat that we have created as an industry. Awesome. So Shivani, to you, right? Great use cases about farmers and healthcare. And I know you're a big fan of building our own sovereign LLMs. What are your thought process of why should we go ahead, build our own sovereign LLMs?
If we think about the agentic and LLM layer, if we divide it to three parts, one is whatever is available, we utilize that for different applications, solving different problems, which is happening already, right? Second piece is where we customize it or probably adopt it with Indian environment and then utilize it. Third piece, which is probably a missing piece, is our having our own ability to have our own LLM. So I'm not saying that we don't do the first and second part, but third will also brings a lot of, you can say, confirmation to the ability India can produce it, one. Second, we shouldn't be competing with the existing one. It's not that we have to build a LLM which is going to compete with the ChatGPT, but the way we have developed UPI, right? It has a different, it is not competing with Visa or MasterCard, but it has created its own path because it is more applicable to our environment. It is more adopting the current challenges what India is facing. So if LLM comes into the picture, it has to address the problem what we are having, and it also brings a lot of authority and probably price flexibility for us to bring more solutions using our own LLM into the picture. So that's the thought, and I think a lot of startups are already getting into that space where they are trying to build their LLM, and hopefully we see something soon.
Okay, great. So the conviction that we can do it and the spread of use cases. We're talking about startup. I'll go to David. David, we got so many unsolved problems. Given the construct, do you still think building our own LLMs is a necessity, distraction, and we can do without it?
I would actually be on the distraction side. Okay. The reason I say it is, I'll just give an example of, I want to make a dosa. Dosa requires rice, dal, and oil. I want to be an independent person. So I will grow my own rice, I will grow my own dal, and I will grow my own sunflowers and make the oil. Maybe I'll grow my own coconuts and make the chutney as well. If I want to be truly independent, I need to be a farmer as well as the maker of the dosa. So now, when there is already rice and dal available in the market, it may or may not make sense for me to just be a farmer myself, right? That's the point I want to make, which is, we are a world which is interdependent. If somebody is making rice and dal for me already, let me just use the rice and dal which is already available. The innovation should be from taking that, what already exists, and mixing something of my own and making it. Maybe I want to make a Szechuan dosa, okay? Or I want to make idli Manchurian, okay? These are so-called innovative dishes that I can use using the same raw materials that are available. So I'm saying, let's not focus so much on rebuilding fundamental models. We can mix them in interesting ways to suit our market and to create new use cases where we can benefit from. There I want to say one more thing, which is, if you look at this kind of innovation, which is where I think a lot of India is focused on, is always looking 3, 6, 9, 12, 24 months in the future. So let's say I invest 100 rupees today, I make 200 rupees in 2 years, which is a fairly good ROI. I think we should invest in it. If I have to say something about fundamental research, let's invest on things which will pay off 10 years down the line, which is 100 rupees today, 10,000 rupees 10 years later. That is an investment which we are missing in India as of now. I think that is where we should invest on. I think large language models, there are already fairly good ones in the market. Quantum computing, brain neural connections, better quality virtual reality. These are things which will come up 10 years down the line. I think those are the things we need to invest in. And I request companies who are sitting here, right? Can you spend 10% of your bandwidth on things which will pay off 10 years down the line? And you can do 90% of LLMs and stuff, but 10% on the other stuff as well. I think that's when the real 100x is going to come.
Brilliant, David. So large language models are getting commoditized. Look at use cases. If nothing works, Swiggy or dosa. Right? Nishant, to you. Between your own LLMs and use cases and data centers for running your own models, where is your money?
So my money actually, is slightly, at odds with what David mentioned. So what I believe is what's generic today will become specific tomorrow. Having said that, we have, David did mention that LLMs are quite powerful, which is indeed true. But, what happens is we need industry-specific, domain-specific intelligence which needs to go deep down. It can be domain-specific LLMs in medicine, retail, BFSI, e-commerce, and some industries which we have not seen today. So, when I talked about transformative technologies earlier, I mean to also say that some of the industries as we know today will cease to exist and new industries would come in, and this will all be transformed with industry-specific models. In current form, it seems like large language models. However, in later incarnation of these models will be more multimodal models instead of language models only.
Brilliant, brilliant. Thank you. The next stage is reasonably pertinent to all of us, right? Prabha, you spoke about the moat that we already created. And we created the moat to ensure that the digital data, AI, tech modernization do not go out from our industry. But the same data and AI is actually breaking the moat down. You spoke about COBOL migrations, which are completely agent-driven now, right? So given all these aspects, what are the top risks that we have to ensure that we keep riding this wave so that our moat do not get de-established?
So there are several risks, right? So first of all, I think I think we're in a race to really apply AI models, and I believe that this race will lead us to territories that we have not seen yet. At the same time, I think from a talent that we today have an advantage of, I think we are missing those PhDs in applied model engineering. We are missing those talents. I mean, I'm sure we have talent, but from a scale standpoint, I think we have more AI educated or AI ready workforce rather than deep AI resources, which I think we really need to build. In the long run, I think we will need those capabilities to do more deeper work in AI. And then I think as a country in which our GCCs exist, we don't have the right AI GPUs, the compute capability and the original chips. So that also means that we are on borrowed cloud infrastructure that raises our cost, not only for the GCCs, but the startups who need to do those kind of research and experimentation to build those products for us. And the product differentiator itself is not our focus at the minute. We are not creating products that are global and those 100x earning products at the minute. I think our focus is to really, go from a cost arbitrage to value creator. So we are in a phase where our current 3 to 5 years is probably going to be focused on positioning our GCCs as a value creator, and that means we are moving from the cost arbitrage model. And with that focus in mind, I think the risks that we will have on positioning ourselves as the AI Silicon Valley of the world is definitely at risk. We need to invest on multiple other areas.
Sure, Prabha, right? You spoke about PhD research, you spoke about deep tech, right? I'll pass the same question to Shivani. What are the threats?
See, as we are doing we are at a stage of scalability, right? AI, what it used to be 20 years back, it used to be probably 15, 20, 30 solution at a max, even at an enterprise level. Now it is probably multiplied by 100 and it is 3,000, 5,000 range. It is only going to increase. So each enterprise will have more solutions. The breadth will also increase the way it is going to the new trajectories like agriculture or healthcare or sports or many more. What automation agentic AI is bringing, that is going to be helpful because the number of talented people we have to adopt or multiply or scale is very less. So if we use that automation to take AI to probably last mile person in each and every industry, we still have a lot of jobs available, lot of requirement to go to those industry and cater and create the real value for each and every individual rather than specific to the few sectors which are doing really well using AI. So that's the space I see AI is going to go in next 3 to 5 years.
So breadth, depth, not just focus on single-minded use cases. Okay, before we go on to the next segment, one last question to David. David, we are not big on IP creation, or at least IP filing from here, right? And if you're going to build for India, build from India, that is a reasonable metrics to say we are at the forefront of technology. What are your views? Should we be concerned?
One caveat before we get into IP, right? The top tech companies in the world, they don't file so much patents and stuff like that because the moment you file the patent, you have to reveal what's inside. And once you reveal it, then everybody knows it and they can copy. So there is a little bit of caveat there. Maybe generically you can file IP and stuff like that. So let's keep the filing of patent aside, but actually building of intellectual property. I would actually say let's focus on generating those 100x outcomes. Focus on business outcomes, long-term transformations to the entire industry, right? And then whatever it is, which are milestones on the way to getting there, that becomes our IP automatically. So I think the focus should be on this long-term transformations and 100x business outcomes, and then everything which is a milestone becomes your IP, and that's how we create the IP.
Great. Focus on value, not cost to serve. Awesome. The last segment, you don't know what questions are going to come. This is rapid fire. Please answer it in a word or two. And we'll start with Dr. Nishant. Between the three, where will you put the money in? Data sovereignty, infrastructure ownership, building our own LLMs. Single word answer, please.
I have to choose between these three, right?
Yeah.
Building over LLMs.
Okay, interesting. India's strategic power has always been to continue to build on already built innovations. Given that, top three sectors that you think are going to go big on AI. Shivani.
In future?
Yeah.
I think it would be some greenfield projects or the emerging ones, because the current ones have already reached probably 60 to 70% maturity, like retail or telecom or banking. But the new ones are going to beat that 100x what David is talking about. They have that headspace. So they are certainly going to go really leaps and bounds, right? If we are able to solve this agriculture problem, think about that.
Yes, thank you so much.
My answer would be entertainment.
Entertainment? Because that's the only thing that we will continue to do.
Entertainment is definitely...
For you, David. a message to all of us. Agents, vibe coding, extreme automation. What is the moat that we have to create for ourselves personally? Top two.
Focus on value generated rather than cost savings. And similarly, focus on business outcomes as opposed to techniques and technologies.
Thank you. We'll just take a pause here. Any questions from audience to any of the intelligent folks here? Samir, thank you for choosing this time and the cut in duration, but thank you so much for being here.
I would say Kamesh finished exactly on time, so thank you, Kamesh.
Thank you so much.
Credit to you. Thank you.